right, and welcome to Week 7, day number 1, the final week of the HCS Pro League fall season. I'm Elamite, and joined at the Xfinity desk with none other than T-Squared to go ahead and finish out this season.
It's flown by, and it's been extremely intense. I guess it's because we've been having such a good time.
It has. It's been a really good time, and I can't even imagine how close this season is compared to what we were looking at in the summer season, compared to how close the games are, the skill gaps between these teams, the improvements that we've seen from each individual player as well. So obviously a lot on the line here today as we come down to the final week of the Pro League. And as we do that, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the standings here and see where these teams currently stand here in this final week. We have Team Envious and Optic Gaming in the top 2 spots here, followed up by Team Liquid and Luminosity. In that 5th, 6th contention here, still looking to make a comeback. We've got Straight Rippin' and Enigma6, and then fighting to escape the relegation matches. You're looking at Evil Geniuses and Team Allegiance.
There's a lot of possibilities here, Kyle, but if you're playing, you can't think about the possibilities. You just have to focus on one spawn at a time and one game at a time, and I'm really looking forward to seeing today's matchups, especially because we have a big one, obviously, Optic Gaming taking on Envy. Everybody's been looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of battles happening here as these teams are not looking to go down without a fight here. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about these teams that are making a push here for finals. So obviously you have Luminosity that is sitting in the 4th seed, and you've got Straight Rippin' and Enigma6 looking to knock them out of the 4th seed and steal their trip to finals.
Yeah, it all comes down to, can Luminosity close it out? They didn't close it out last week. They gave them a little bit of a heartbeat, and it could go either way for Straight Rippin'. They could end up being in 4th place, but also they could drop down as low to 7th place and find themselves in the relegations. So, again, these players, they can't think about all the possibilities. They have to just be focused on what they're doing and executing and just playing Halo.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Luminosity, they need one win and they will secure their trip to final. So they either need to win here today or they're going to have to defeat Optic Gaming tomorrow in Week 7, Day 2 of the Pro League. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about that relegation spots here, as we do have Evil Geniuses in an unprecedented situation here, trying to escape relegation. Now, it came down to the Week 7, Day number 2 of the summer season of Pro League, for Evil Geniuses to fail to qualify for finals. And now this season, they're looking like they're going to end up here in relegation if they don't pull out some wins.
Well, that's why it's so important for everybody. I believe that Evil Geniuses plays Luminosity today, and that's a very important matchup for both of the teams. Luminosity needs to win that one again to secure their way into Burbank into December for the finals, and then EG, they don't want to be in the relegation talk, but they're there. They're in 7th place. You even saw the interview with Kratos that everyone gets a little bit of a giggle out because of the fact that no one expected EG to be in this position, especially after the team changes they made, picking up Stellar and dropping Victory X.
Yeah, I mean, and keep in mind, Evil Geniuses yet to win a series since that team change. Now, of course, they were struggling with Victory X there, so you can't necessarily put all the blame on one individual player, but Evil Geniuses is not where they want to be here. Now, let's go ahead and take a quick look, as we do have our match of the week here happening today, and that's going to be our number 1 and 2 seeds, Team Envious versus Optic Gaming. One of the matches I know I'm most excited for, and pretty much anyone I talk to wants to see these two teams battle it out again.
Yeah, I want to see them battle it out at any time. Online, on land, doesn't really matter. It's going to be 5 games here. I want to see a best of 7 between these guys eventually, and I think that's, right now, it could go either way in terms of who's going to win this one, but obviously Optic Gaming, they showed their dominance on land. Envy's going to have to play a little bit of catch up on that. They said in the interview, I believe it was Sniped Down, that said when it shows up down to land, Optic, just a completely different beast.
Right, and then obviously Envious does have some LAN experience for Halo 5 here with this new squad under their belts, as they were at Esports Arena competing as well. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's matches and see where these teams are going to end up playing who. Now, of course, we did talk a little bit about what needs to happen for these teams to qualify for finals and to make it out of relegation. Very first match of the night, Allegiance versus Enigma6. Now, Enigma6 will have to win this 3-0 if they hope to keep any hopes alive of qualifying for finals. And then match of the week here, Team Envious versus Optic Gaming, which we've already talked about. Match number 3, Team Liquid versus Straight Rippin'. So this is a must-win situation here for Straight Rippin' in order to qualify. And then the Evil Geniuses and Luminosity matchup of the last one of the night here. Another tough situation, as in order to keep Enigma6's and Straight Rippin's hopes alive, they need Evil Geniuses to come through here for them and pick up a win against this Luminosity squad.
It's interesting. We've talked about week after week how the importance of the matches come into play here, but yet every single match, it has a storyline, it has an importance. Allegiance, Enigma6, both teams trying to avoid relegations. Envy and Optic, the battle for first place. Team Liquid and Straight Rip in the battle for fourth. And then, again, another battle for going to the playoffs or going to relegations between Luminosity and Evil Geniuses. What a day.
And, of course, all of these teams are playing to make it to finals. The top 4 teams, as well as 7th and 8th seeded teams, will get a trip out to the ESL studios here in Burbank to compete in the finals, and then also the 7th and 8th teams to compete against the top 2 teams to come out of the open bracket and try to contest and take their spots here in Pro League. Now, of course, if you do want to watch those matches happen, you can always head over to esl.gg/NAHCS finals. Purchase tickets to attend the event, and that is going to be a really exciting one as well, as these teams will be battling it out here on land there. And we do want to hear from you at home as well. Obviously, if you want to see your tweets featured on stream or interact here with Tom or myself, you can always tweet at us using the hashtag HCS.
Yes, and I'm curious how many words per minute you guys type, because I took a typing test yesterday for the first time in a while, and I'm not going to disclose what it is quite yet. I want you guys to tell me first, and I want to see where I stack up.
Wow, there you go. Tom throwing out some fighting words there. Taking it to the keyboards.
Yeah, why not? That's what it is, right?
That's what it is.
It's all about who can type faster, who can get those, words in quicker.
All right, and then, of course, our very first match of the night, like we discussed, Team Allegiance will be going up against Enigma6 here. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of a deeper look into this Team Allegiance squad. They are currently in 8th seed, but that does not reflect their individual skill and performances here. Well, it does reflect their performances, but of course, we all know the Game 5 curse that this team has been under. You've got Contra and Predevinator back here on the same team. The acquisition of Straight Sick, and then the young gun here, Falcated, who's done a lot for this squad here since he's joined.
No doubt about it. If these guys are playing well, they have what it takes to beat Enigma6 today. It's just a matter of who's going to end up stepping up. And is it going to be the guy that we're looking at right now, Devin, who's been pretty quiet, Kyle, throughout the entire fall season, especially all of the hype and the amount of his performances that we've seen him have.
Yeah, and you take a look at Predevinator here. I was speaking with him yesterday, chatting for a little while, and found out a little interesting fact about him. He told me, and this is a problem that I've seen for more people than just one in the past, how long are your fingernails supposed to be when you're playing?
That's a conversation.
And Predevinator told me he has perfected the fingernail length.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very, very serious about that one.
All right, we'll have to consult with Jackie about this one on the right, manicure, Halo manicure that you're supposed to have, but I had no idea. I know that personally I bite my fingernails and it's very disgusting. Another person that does that is Rona, but
wow, just throwing him under the bus like that.
Well, it could be the secret. It could be the key. Maybe, who knows?
I don't think it's the secret, but either way, Predevinator says he knows the perfect length.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. How much do you sleep? What did you eat before? How much did you practice? How much did you warm up? But I guess fingernails could be a thing.
Yeah, and then, of course, both of these teams here are fighting to stay out of relegation. Allegiance currently in the 8th seeded position. And then Enigma6, while they can still battle and have that shot at making finals, Evil Geniuses has a real chance of actually escaping relegation here and forcing Enigma6 there to go and play against those open circuit teams.
Yeah, Allegiance at this point, they're just trying to play spoiler, throughout the entire thing and trying to show that they are a team that necessarily doesn't deserve to be down there. Like you said, so many Game 5 losses. I believe it's been 4 out of 5 Game 5s that they've lost, and that's unfortunate because if they would have won maybe half of those or at least all of those, definitely if they win all of those and reverse it, let's say they win 4 and they lose one of their Game 5s, then what are they looking at? They're looking at 6 wins, which is virtually, 7 wins is going to be the number to probably get into the playoffs.
Right. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look at the game types that these two teams will be matching up on here as they have gone through that veto process. 1, 2, and 3, we're looking at Fathom CTF, followed by the Rig Slayer, and then an Empire Strongholds. 4 and 5, Coliseum CTF, and then a Game 5 Eden Slayer that, may or may not go well in their favor. Now, that Eden Slayer was a game type for their previous matchup here in Week 3, day number 1, but it was a 3-1 in favor of Enigma6, so they actually did not play that one. No, excuse me, that was Coliseum there.
Yeah,
so
a lot of
was not Eden.
Well, a lot of control is going to come out in these first 2 game types. Fathom CTF Rig camo, railgun obviously on Fathom CTF, and then you have the camo shotgun sniper rifle on the rig. So it's going to be a matter of who's going to be able to stay alive the longest, and both of these teams have players that are very good at being main slayers, very good at being sneaky. So again, this series, it's going to be very hard to predict. So the entire day is going to be very hard to predict.
Yeah, and so what I really meant to say was 2 of these game types here are going to be rematches from what we saw in the week number 3, and that was actually Coliseum CTF and Empire Strongholds. Now, CTF Coliseum did go over in favor of Allegiance, so it's nice to see that game type up there. As long as they can steal one of these first 3 wins, they will be able to go ahead and get a rematch on that game for it to game type. Now, the other game type was the Empire Strongholds, and it was still a really close game, 100-87 in favor of Enigma6.
Yeah, that's a very close game. Empire Strongholds, typically you see it snowball out of control and out of hand for one team. So that just goes to show, again, how close all of the games are going to be today. And Empire Strongholds is going to play completely different from the first 2 games. It's just going to be a matter of communication, teamwork. You don't want to be down 2-0 going into Empire Strongholds at all because, again, if you don't have a good beginning strategy and you're getting triple capped on, the series just ends so quickly. So it's a very important, time in this first 2 games for these teams to possibly split games.
Yeah, like we said, if they want to make it to that game number 4 and get a rematch of a game type they have already had a victory on against Enigma6, then they do have to take one of the first 3. Let's take a look at the vetoes here and find out how we ended up on our game number 1. So that was going to be a Coliseum ban here from Allegiance, followed up by Truth by E6. Stasis, not too surprising there, as we do see that as a very high banned map. And then that's how we
it almost got
on
through,
Fathom.
though. Stasis didn't get banned out the first go-around between the teams, Coliseum and Truth, where I find it interesting that both of these teams didn't want to play Coliseum or Truth. Yeah, Allegiance, that's a smart ban by them. I feel like, we've talked about it so many times, how E6, even though they don't have control of the weapons, they'll run that flag down towards the scatter shot and just kind of split the map with you. And then it seems like E6 wanted to avoid Truth, so maybe some intel there that I'm not aware of. But now we're at where we're at now, CTF Fathom, and again, it could go either way. It's going to come down to who gets control here, who's going to be able to secure the captures, who's going to be able to communicate with their team to watch their garage door and make sure that they're just leaving that silo open, or at least maybe just flooding in multiple players and clearing players out of the engine, because that's the most difficult part here in the Pro League, is just having a coordinated push.
Right, and then of course with this game number 1 here being that CTF Fathom, how do you see this one playing out, or who's favored? So one thing I wanted to note is the last few weeks, as far as what we've seen here from Shooter, who's kind of one of my X factors here for the E6 squad. He's had really great series with the exception of 1 game per series, and it's really come back to hurt the team as a whole.
It's been like game 5 at some points, or it doesn't matter. It's hard though, like when you have a bad game, and it's impossible to win a series if you have 2 bad games individually in a series, because you have to think of it this way: if everybody takes their turn having a bad game, 4 players on a team, you have to win 3 of these games. You can't just afford losing 4 of the games because everyone takes their turn. So everyone has to be playing at the highest level. Again, we're in week 7, final week. Once we get past that halfway point, once everyone makes their team changes, there's no room for any excuses. It just comes down to who wants it more, really.
All right, now we are getting the team set up here in our game number 1. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map here. Of course, no surprise to anyone. Like we were discussing, CTF on Fathom, it is first 3 captures to win. We've got the railgun, we've got the camo. We've seen those put to really effective use from everyone here in the Pro League now at this point. I think last week we were seeing a lot of missed railguns, so I'm definitely looking out for that to see, who's really on fire with these weapons.
Yeah, and who do we want to start this one off with, Kyle? Looks like it's going to be Suspector. And Suspector going for the top middle jump to start this, and he ends up missing that one, so he's going to just select to drop down bottom center for the railgun. Does get that hit marker on a player and is stuck now in front of the base. So he's going to have to regroup here with his teammates, find out exactly where he wants to push from, as Straight Sick does pick up a kill onto Boo Boo Doo Boo. So this is unfortunate for him, as his teammates are dropping all around him. He doesn't know necessarily what to do, so the play is going to be to fall back, play some defense, and get the numbers in their advantage.
Oh, and it looks like he might have spotted out Predevinator, who has that camo over here on blue side of the map, hiding that pick, going over here to the Splinter Nades. Now he's getting double team as there's just a player sitting in Treehouse, but he's going to show up on radar there. Devin not going to be taken out by that railgun. He really needs some help from Kratos, but not going to be able to get it in time here. And now people are dying left and right, and we had almost just now all 4 down here for Enigma6, so Allegiance coming out strong.
It's a very good start for Allegiance, and you also have Contra, who is top center with the railgun too, so he's going to be just raining down fire from top center as multiple players are trapped inside of their base right now. And there it is. Contra pops out with the railgun, but a nice evade there from Shooter, and a thrust through the small door is going to keep him alive. So not the slays that Allegiance was looking for to get inside of the base here. They're going to have to reset as Shooter does drop eventually. Boo Boo Doo is going to clean that one up. So even though E6 didn't have the start that they wanted, they're at least getting the picks that they need at the right time so Allegiance can't push into the base for free.
All right, and now we have that railgun going over in the hands of Boo Boo Doo as he's pushing up to Treehouse, sees that Shooter gets taken out, knows there are 2 players here. Rather than showing up on Raider, he's just going to back down, have that railgun out. You can see all 4 members. By the way, check the
stats. Just in case you're wondering, Boo Boo Doo has the only kills right now on E6. He has 5. The rest of his team has 0.
All right.
So there it is. That's 6 kills. So we'll get the stats up to you when we have a second. But no one has picked up a kill on this E6 team besides Boo Boo Doo. There it is. Kratos finally picking up a kill. So that's 2 minutes as Boo Boo Doo the only person to pick up a kill on E6.
And wow, you see 2 more members getting taken out as Falcated grabbing a few kills. Boo Boo Doo is taking no shields. He's bottom center. Gets cleaned up by Straight Sick here. Now it is a little bit of a flag standoff. Predominator not dying by these grenades, and I cannot believe he just escaped there.
So now we're in a situation where it's a flag standoff, but you do have Devin with this railgun. That's going to be a big miss because Boo Boo Doo, as you see, just picks up a double kill, and he has to be the MVP, looking for the triple kill. This guy has all the kills for the team right now besides Kratos. So there it is. 8 to everybody else has a combined 2. Just look at that as you see the red team. Allegiance does put in that first flag cap. I've never seen a start like that, honestly, Colin.
Yeah, I mean, with one player just so heavily stacked as far as the slays go, I'm kind of going to agree with you there. We've seen some big leads, especially last week, you know, 14, 15 to 0 kill leads, but not by just one player racking up those kills.
Not at all, and look, they maintained control throughout all of this while getting the flag cap. Now, Devin doesn't have a good secondary weapon, and that may have thrown him off a little bit because he was looking for a pistol or some sort of light rifle, battle rifle combo to work with that railgun, and then he's going to drop giving one railgun shot on over to E6. So let's see if E6 can get some sort of top center control and stop this, because if it wasn't for Boo Boo Doo right now, I feel like this game would be over.
And look at that, 10 and then 2 across the board. Boo Boo Doo still doing work here, but it is nice to see everyone else has now joined the club and racked up a kill or 2 on their own.
For sure, so let's stay on board with Boo Boo Doo because he's just picking these guys apart. Gets 1 kill, looking for another. Nice grenade, that should hit Devin. I don't know if it's gonna pick up the kill though. And nice Contra comes in and gets the cleanup, but that's enough damage for the rest of these E6 guys to go in and run the flag, and it's gonna be an elbow run over here while they pick up another kill. But Kratos can't get the flag into the treehouse. Nice job by Falcated getting the kill. Speaking of Falcated, he's already made his way over to the enemy base, trying to get a touch because as you can see, flag is still away and it's pretty far.
Yeah, but what he doesn't know is he's running into Boo Boo Doo who's hiding an engine, and based on the beginning of this game, that's not somebody you want to encounter too much with how well he's playing. Now we do have Enigma6 finally with that top center control. It's good teamwork coming out here from Kratos, who is sitting front of red base. Now they are kind of keeping Allegiance trapped as that flag's moving across. We're already tied up here 1-1. It's kind of amazing by E6 considering they've been able to keep this game so close with what's been happening so far.
It's going to be worrisome for Allegiance if they continue to outslay and not get the correct amount of flagpoles. And it's been pretty clean up until that point. They just need to make sure that they're flooding in together and clearing out the engine again, which is very difficult to do when you have people playing defense. And it's going to be very hard to get a cap when you have Suspector with this camo railgun battle rifle combo. Even though he is one of the last guys alive, you can see Straight Sick has no idea where Suspector is located. Can he find the triple kill? There it is. Not even looking for the overkill, instead making his way over towards the red elbow and looking for a flagpole over here. But nice prediction nade there by Devin is going to back Suspector off. But look at that. That's going to be a 6 splinter grenade and 2 dead for Allegiance. Suspector clutching it when his team needed him.
Yeah, that was an amazing. He threw 2 nades, Plasma and a Splinter. Plasma ended up picking up the kill. The Splinter, obviously, you can see all those hit markers taking him to no shields here. He still has the camo, so it was an amazing job even staying alive. That was a must-kill situation for Allegiance, and they let him sneak by once again. And all of a sudden, that's a lead change now going over here to E6 once he gets this kill. I'm going to take a look at the stats again. We'll see what's been going on, how Boo Boo Doo here is doing. Let's see here. Okay, so everyone else is catching up now.
They've caught up for sure, and you know who hasn't kept up is Allegiance throughout all of this. It seemed like a fantastic start for them. It looked like they were going to even go up 2-0 at one point, and then instead it got tied up 1-1 and now 2-1 in favor of E6. And E6 seems like they've kind of brushed off the, first game jitters here, I guess you can say, and have really started to step up their communication because it seems like they're on top of things. But Falcated's trying to get this flag out. Boobadooboo is going to stop that push from the bridge. That's going to be straight sick down below him over here, working with Contra, trying to continue to pull this flag. Now Contra's wondering whether he should try to help the flag guy or go for the railgun, and elects to go for the railgun, which seems to be the right move as he picks off the Spectre. Devin gets a kill onto Kratos. That should open up the rest of the map for these guys to run the flag, and Shooter misses a very important railgun and backs off and dies to Falcated. So crucial mistake there for Shooter, and that means this game's all tied up at 2.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty weird of a game so far that we're watching with how Boobadooboo started this one off, and now Enigma6 taking that lead, and now comeback here essentially from Allegiance. A couple crucial mistakes, some missed railguns like we were talking about earlier. We saw a lot of those last week that could have definitely changed the outcome of some of these series as we have Contra now running this next flag. This is going to be the final cap. There is going to be a counter pull also happening. He runs that into 2 members, has no help from his teammates as Kratos is going to get a return there. That flag is being moved across by Spectre, you can see in that player outline. And just like that, you got Enigma6 coming out really strong and taking that first game. Look at these stats here. Looks like Falcated was able to keep up, even past Boobadooboo, who had those 10 kills while everyone else on his team was sitting at just 2 kills apiece here. So Legion says that's going to be a hard loss to take, considering they should have even had a 2-0 lead. And with what they were doing, they could have 3-0'd them almost instantly if Boobadooboo wasn't so clutch.
Like, what the heck happened at the end there where the flag, it seemed to be pretty even. Allegiance seems to be in control, or at least splitting control with E6. Next thing you know, Kratos gets a flag return. E6 puts that flag in, and it's 3-2. Such a weird game. So, I don't know. One of the weirder games we've seen in the fall season. Now we're moving to Rig Slayer E6. They have the advantage here, and again, since Empire Strongholds is game 3, you don't want to afford to go down 2-0 in any series, but especially when you have kind of a snowbally game type at Empire Strongholds in game 3.
Yeah, and let's talk about what is on the line here again for a moment for these two squads. Enigma6 has to win this series 3-0 to keep their hopes alive. Off to a pretty good start, considering, if anything, I probably would have put them losing that one, judging by the first 5 minutes of what we were watching. Not only that, but Allegiance, they have to win this to escape relegation. So they really need to turn it around right now, because they have to go 2-0 this week in order to escape.
You can never count these guys out on either team, but especially, E6, because of the fact that they've shown that they can come back in any way, shape, or form. And Allegiance, they push games to game 5 all the time. So I'm expecting, as weird as that game was, I'm expecting an equally weird series here. I mean, hopefully the teams go for the camo to start this game. It's not like we saw any crazy, misexecutions or anything groundbreaking that's never been done before, but that last flag cap, I don't know how it went in. I have no idea, honestly. Someone made a huge mistake on the Allegiance squad, and they're just going to have to say, hey, whatever, we made a mistake, let's move on, let's just focus on this next game.
Yeah, I mean, Contra was running that flag across. He ran into one of his teammates who was just taken out as Contra dies, and all of a sudden there's a huge numbers advantage over for E6 as they already had a flag pull out, and it was just too early of a pull. They had to get more slays in order to run it that towards their own silo there. So it just did not work out in their favor. E6 coming out strong, proving even with such a rocky start by the 3 of the members here that Boobadooboo can keep their hopes alive and keep them in this, because they, like we said, have to go 3-0 if they have any chance of making it to finals.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens if Boobadooboo can go off in a Slayer, because if you can rack up that many kills in a Slayer, then that's going to be fantastic for your squad. But I'm expecting someone to go big here on the Allegiance squad. We saw Falcated with a handful of kills for his team. I believe he had double the amount of anyone on his team with 16, and everyone else was still in single digits. So that's a nice job by him. And again, if I'm looking at probably Boobadooboo and Falcated to who's going to be able to carry in this type of game, or maybe someone steps up that we haven't talked about. Maybe it's going to be Suspector or Straight Sick. Again, Devin, he's had a very, very quiet fall season, in my opinion, especially because he was one of the top players in the beginning of Halo 5. It's not like he's kind of fallen off there. It's just it's been the story for Allegiance this season. Just so many close games just not going their way.
Right, and then so with what we just saw, obviously, was Falcade and Boobadooboo really strong in game 1. Who are you wanting to start this off with?
I say that we just talked about Devin. Let's give him a shot to go out there and rack up some kills to start this game.
All right, as the red team obviously spotting over here on bunker side of the map, immediately pushing over to contest the camo, and great shots. Go ahead and back Suspected down, but that did allow Kratos here to grab that plasma caster as he lays down some shots. Pretty much a standoff, only one power weapon actually been taken.
Yeah, so Devin just laying down shots, not forfeiting bunker control, which is the right play that you want to do when you're starting from that red side.
And that was that camo? No, so Straightsick has camo here. Falcated going in a little bit too ham as he immediately gets taken out. Kratos turning over that plasma caster, and sniper rifle yet to be taken.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to give Straightsick, who has the camo, the sniper rifle, which I don't necessarily agree with. I probably would have gave that one on over to Devin and said, okay, Straightsick, you are going to back off with the sniper. That's not the play. You have to play aggressive if you have camo sniper and try to push over probably towards that barrels and get the free picks on the people that are just sitting down in long haul and back wall over here. So instead, he's going to have to go over here, watch that bat ledge, and then get a couple picks from the nest bridge. Now, this isn't the worst angle, too. I'm glad that he's up top, which is really big, and that's going to be a domer onto Kratos. He's going to have to rotate positions now because Kratos is going to call out where he is, and that's exactly what he's doing. Suspector spots him as well, and there goes that camo. So only one kill there with the camo. Again, maybe could have backed off with that, but again, Straightsick, he's a fantastic sniper. You want to try to get it into his hands.
Right, and he is still moving around here towards Whitehall. You can see all the player outlines on your screen. Obviously, pretty decent setup for Enigma6. You know, I do like what we're seeing, but as Boo jumps up, not keeping in mind that that angle works perfectly here for that sniper rifle sitting over here towards Engine. Now, it is 4-2, so still really early game, or start to this game, low kill count. Camo, obviously, Allegiance had the timing on there. I don't know if Enigma6 has that exact time. And with it coming up so soon, I'd really like to make sure Straightsick backs down here and stays alive. Contra actually nabs a kill, so with another 10 seconds or so, we're going to see that next camo come up. And right now, Enigma6 really has to kind of rotate around if they're going to contest this, as you do see Boo start to push in here with that new plasma caster, and he's going to go ahead and grab one kill.
That's why I'm not a big fan of sniping over there, especially when the plasma caster just dropped, because think about it, where's the most likely spot that the plasma caster guy is going to go? He's going to charge you over towards top engine side. So a pretty obvious push over there, and Straightsick gets picked off. He probably should have rotated back over towards that bunker area, and this is a possible opportunity for E6 to get back into it. But one of the things I do like is they haven't forfeited bunker at all. They've kept two people over towards top tower, another person anchoring over here. So when that camo does come up, that allows someone like Contra to get over here and get some free kills. So now he has shotgun in his back pocket. And since Straightsick's over there, I would like to see him get aggressive over here and try to maybe control this basement side of the map. But instead, look at this. There's going to be a pushover towards bottom nest area. And because of that, it's a smart play for Contra to rotate over here with that shotgun. And he has a battle rifle too, so he can just lay down fire and back people off. But he's running out of ammo too, so that's the one thing that he has to be worried about as Straightsick and Falcated pick up a couple kills. Now everyone's going to get aggressive on the Allegiance side, but now it looks like they're just going to back off. So I like the way that Allegiance has been playing this one very well. Again, the main thing is once you start off at red, you want to try to control bunker as much as you can, and they haven't given that up at all, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, and this is another great start here from Allegiance. Straightsick with that sniper barely misses a headshot there. Shooter's jumping out to try to contest. Gonna be grabbed by a body, and what a grenade coming in here from Boo to secure that kill. Contra pushing up with that shotgun. Does secure himself a double kill. 15-7 lead. Like we talked about, this has got to be troublesome for Enigma6 as they need to make sure they start closing this gap here soon. They do not want to be at a big deficit here in game number 2. And essentially, you know, this series, of course, we are looking at relegation, but this squad, this E6 squad finishing second at summer finals, they're not looking to go to relegation. They're looking to go to the finals.
So here's the thing. What's the situation with E6, Kyle? If you said they have to win this one 3-0 or they're going to be in relegations, or is that their opportunity? They have to win 3-0 to make it into the playoffs?
To make it into the playoffs.
Okay. All right, thanks for clearing that up. So, yeah, this series, like every series here, meaning so much. And Allegiance, they're just trying to prove themselves and try to play spoiler. And this is what they've done so well. They've kept up. They've pushed games to game number 5. And this is typical E6. So many times, E6, they like to slow the pace of the game down. They like to get information and then have a calculated push. But Doesn't seem like Allegiance is faltering at all as they pick up 3 kills, and that's going to secure the camo for Straight Sick.
Oh, and that is a really hard thing to witness as you all are rotating over towards barrel side and get collapsed on so easily here by this Allegiance squad right when camo is getting or coming up, and it's the last time you actually want to die, because it really doesn't seem like they're going to have any idea of the exact time on that, which just makes it that much harder for the next one.
It's an easy kill for Straight Sick, but it looks like he's not going to be able to get a couple more here like he wanted to. Stayed alive and bought some time for his teammates, but doesn't seem like anyone's going to play aggressive over here. 10 kill lead with sniper setup. No reason to overextend just because your camo guy is caught out. If you are to overextend, everyone would have had to charge immediately at the right time. But that's Devin getting aggressive over there, picking up 2 kills for 1, and now Falcated looking to try to get some positioning over here. That's going to be 1 player taken down to no shields. I believe that is the Spectre. Now Boobadooboo caught over towards the bunker, but look at this. Falcated now has made his way over towards bottom tower, and everybody's going to try to shift their focus over towards him. But Boobadooboo is not able to switch over towards that engine side and get the pick onto Falcated, and doesn't even realize that he's coming behind him. So nice job by Falcated, and a little bit of miscommunication. I thought Boobadooboo was going to collapse, or at least shoot her over there towards top tower.
Yeah, and Falcated doing a lot of work for this team here with these power weapons, as he was just running around with Plasma Caster and Sniper Rifle. Now, once the action settles down for a moment, we'll take a look at the stats, see what's been going on here for both of these teams. New Plasma Caster is spawning, and he's able to secure the kill. Amazing job.
That's just crazy that nobody, again, there was a player that was top engine that could have rotated. There was a player that was top tower, especially the guy that was top tower. I understand not to drop, but Falcated, he was caught out. He charged all the way towards bottom tower out of desperation, and nobody took him out, and he got, what, 3 or 4 kills out of that. So that's just an amazing job by him, and a little bit of a misplay from E6.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at 19 to 29. So they're still staying within 10, definitely still doable as far as any kind of comebacks are concerned here. We've definitely seen much larger margins of victory here, and a lot of things just have not been going in E6's favor. You see, obviously, when 3 people get taken out over by bunker or by barrel side, you know, it's decent play, working together, communicating and rotating as a team, but when the other team has power weapons and map positioning on you, if you don't execute perfectly, you're going to end up giving up a bunch of free deaths.
This is where you have to not give up the free deaths, though, because now they have control on the side. A shooter has to hit those shots, and that's going to be a spawn behind him over towards bunker for Contra. And it looks like everyone on E6 is aware of this, though, so they ended up charging over here and flipping the spawns, which is good because they didn't sacrifice that many deaths. But this is a big opportunity for Shooter to stay alive, and he doesn't. So nice grenade by Contra. The question is did that sniper rifle blow off? Kratos is looking for it. I believe it's on top of the fan behind him.
Yeah, I didn't catch if it actually went off the map or not there, but obviously with the communication here, they do believe it fell off. Maybe we'll be able to get another eyes on that here in a minute. We'll see what happens after this play. Great double kill coming out of Kratos as he gets the first shots on this 3rd player. Might be a triple kill. Bring this gaming within 2. Make that, almost.
Oh.
But look, it's a 1-kill game. They were just down 29 to 19. They've just gone, what is that, 12 to 1 as far as kills.
And the only kill was Contra getting that grenade kill on the back wall, and that's just big misplays coming out from Allegiance. They were sacrificing their life to try to burn the camo and things like that, but they need to be doing what E6 was doing to them earlier in terms of just not giving up any dumb deaths when the other enemy team has weapons. So now that results in E6. Again, they were down in game number 1, Fathom CTF. They were down in this game here. They're so resilient and bounced back. But nice crouch play coming in for Contra, finally dropping Kratos.
Yeah, now a 2-kill game as he has the first shots on Spectre. Picks up a perfect there. Engine control still over here in favor of Enigma6. Straight 6 doing what he can as he's getting some help. Needs to stay alive. Players, no shields in front of him. Not going to be able to do so. Big responsibility for the rest of Allegiance to clean up these kills as there's another player down by SMG. Falcated not being able to grab it yet, but nice job by Predevinator finishing that one off. We are all tied up at 37. I feel like we're watching a replay of game number 1, except for just Slayer here. But the momentum and the back and forth plays is exactly the same.
Little team nade in there, takes Falcated down to no shields, and Falcated has an amazing flank. The player doesn't even call out that Spectre. Call that out to Kratos, or Kratos, listen to the call out. That's huge miscommunication. Falcated somehow sneaks behind, gets a kill, and then Bubudubu charges by himself. So 2 free kills right on over to Allegiance.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they are back in the lead here. It's going to be quite some time before we're looking at that next camo spawn. Of course, this is Team Slayer. We do say it a lot, but if these teams are tied, it does go into a 3-minute overtime. So everyone needs to keep that in mind based on how close this game number 2 is.
So now it's bunker spawns over back to Allegiance, sniper rifle in straight 6 hands. It looks like we're right back into the beginning of the game, but now the game is that much closer, and
just ripped Devin's face off.
Oh no, that was very unfortunate there, but straight 6 doesn't matter. If you're an enemy team or a friendly, he's still gonna hit the shots. Another kill going on over to Contra with the shotgun. So this is all Allegiance here if they want it.
Wait, this camo has been up for a long, long time.
Yeah, sure has. It looks like Straight 6 just baiting it. So nice body shot. Can they get the kill onto Bubudubu? It looks like Devin's going for it. He gets the melee, and he had to overextend those. So it should have been a free kill. It should be probably 45 right now, or 44 to 40, sorry. And Straight 6 missing some pretty easy body shots though, or headshots with the body shots instead. Need to be looking for the head though. Again, it could be 45 to 40 now instead. One of the things, though, E6 did was they slowed this down so much with 1:30 left, down 4 kills. They're down 3 kills now. They're going to have to do something and do something fast.
Oh, but they are pushing outside here and starting to try to do a collapse or a flank. You do have 2 players, Kratos and Bubudubu, moving around as Contra gets taken out 45 to 43. Now, Straight 6 not liking the position. He finds himself in here with this sniper. I don't know if I fully agree with this. They have Plasma Caster. You have a lead and sniper. You can set up and go for some of those picks. And although they still have a 2-kill lead, yeah, it could be a big swing here.
Falcated with a big 1v1 win onto Shooter. It could have been tied up right there, 45 to 45, and Shooter would have had a flank, and instead Straight 6 going to get a pick onto Suspector. So I really look at that kill over there in the corner top engine as possibly being one of those things off screen that eventually could push this game in one favor or the other. Bubudubu crouching around the corner, Straight 6 looking for the no scopes. Now it's taken down to no shields. You got to assume Bubudubu is going to be coming, but a nice job by Contra helping down bottom SMG area, and Straight 6 gets caught out 48 to 48. Here comes the push. Falcated's caught out over towards top bunker area, and there goes the charge. 2 players are no shields, and Falcated get the stick. He did. Very big death stick coming in at the end of the game, and a big 1v1 win. Falcated clutching it towards the end of that game for his squad.
And I cannot believe that 10-kill lead came down to a 50-49 game. The fact that E6 was even able to bring that one back, but how heartbreaking of a loss is that, as they did go ahead and just now drop a 50-49 here to Allegiance. This series all tied up. Hopes and dreams of Enigma6 just going down the drain right now, and that is a heartbreaking loss. I wonder what kind of momentum swings we may see here, although it was Allegiance that was leading the charge for the first half of both games so far.
That was so big from Falcated. A lot of those plays, I forgot even the moment. I'm glad we had the highlight of him with the Plasma Caster there, getting 3 or 4 kills that he shouldn't have when he was no shields in a 50-49 game. There was at least 3 or 4 plays that he made that ended up being the huge difference there. So now we move into Empire Strongholds. That's exactly what Allegiance had to do. Look how close this series has been, Kyle. 3-2, 50-49. 199 has to be the prediction, right, for Empire Strongholds?
You know, we might just be looking at that happening. Like we said, it was 100-87 last time these 2 teams matched up here. And just going back to that game number 2 of the Rig Slayer here, Tom, considering just that last sniper shot that Straight 6 had on the player that was on pipes trying to jump up into Tower 2, that was the shotgun player that he hit that headshot on. So that, just think of what could have gone differently if Enigma6 was able to lock down Tower 2 with the shotgun at the end of that game.
Yeah, a lot of big plays, and Allegiance, they have to, if they get the lead though, continue to build on that. They made a big mistake by giving up a lot of dumb deaths, a lot of free deaths, I guess you can say. They weren't necessarily dumb because E6 did a good job of getting those picks and playing aggressive and also playing the spawns the right way, but you can't just go out there and mindlessly, you know, try to, oh, we're up 10 kills, doesn't matter. 10 kills, it can collapse on you very quickly, and that's exactly what happened in that game. It's not like they were fortunate to win that one because they did a good job building that lead up, but they have to be worried. If you're an Allegiance fan, you have to be worried because that's a big weakness right now in their game.
And that 49-49 brings up that point, Tom. I think we've had a discussion here on the show talking about what's better, shoot the player a couple times or go for that sticky nade kill. And obviously it worked out in their favor this time around, as that death grenade did go home and secure them the victory. But, you know, crazy to think how it could have been different, you know, should he not been able to get that one off.
Definitely so. Let's see what's going to happen in this one. Completely different turn of events now as E6, like you said, they got to be a little bit heartbroken after that. And Allegiance, let's see if they can ride the momentum. Overshield obviously outside, no longer in the pit. The pit has been extended. Saw currently replacing the scatter shot, but it's at the top of the ramp now. And let's see what Falcated's going to do. Again, the MVP so far for his team in this entire series. Going to capture his base, which we haven't seen very often here. And that's going to mean that a couple of players for E6 are going to be able to spread out towards the pit and then outside. 2 kills going on over to Allegiance, but it's just going to be a 2-on-2 here as Bubudubu does get the saw and starts to capture the enemy base here with Suspector. So the pit should go on over to Allegiance over here, and that should actually be a very good start for these guys. I believe they were able to secure the overshield as well.
Yeah, but look at that. Allegiance has pit now. They still have control of their base. They did pick up a reset. It does go over in favor of Enigma6 now. You can see in that kill feed, you got Bubudubu with the scatter shot, or excuse me, with the saw there.
See how high that guy flew in the air.
That guy just went really high up in the air there, and great job by Suspector in a 1v1 fight here. He's ultimately going to get taken out. Now, points are on the board here going over to Allegiance, but right now, Blue Base, a minute into this game, has not even been taken yet as Bubudubu hits an amazing stick and is actually going to get a reset. Looking to capture this hill, knows there's a player for Devonator here right in front of the base, but is just going to jump up, maybe clean up this kill, maybe not. He's starting to get collapsed on. He's going to need some additional help here, but the rest of his team looks like they're focusing over at red base.
Nice job temporarily for E6 capping both of the side bases, but Bubudubu needs to win this 1v1 and win it fast because you have Contra and Devin working together, and it doesn't matter that they did capture the side base. I mean, it mattered for 3 points, but Allegiance, they're just getting right back into it. Now E6 gets a couple of kills. Let's see if they shift their focus over towards the pit because it's only Devin and Straight Sick alive.
Ooh, and you can see that Stronghold pit here is going over in favor of Enigma6. They capture that one extremely quickly, overloading teammates there to capture it more quickly. The Splinter Nade up here in those sneaky locations is such a big game changer. You see some of the best players here just controlling that as you can completely change the outcome of the battle here with these grenades.
Wow, Suspector was so close, maybe just one assault rifle bullet away from being able to have enough damage to land that melee and get the kill over here. And it's just been Contra staying alive over in the pit working with Straight Sick. Straight Sick needs to get in this, but he is weak. So there it is, Contra and Straight Sick clutching it out over here. Not able to get the kill, but at least able to secure the pit. Let's see how long though. Doesn't seem like they have the numbers in order to keep this one and fend off the push for E6. Overshield is up though, and it looks like a player is outside right now, which is Straight Sick. Straight Sick is gonna burn that overshield, I believe, right around 938.
Yeah, that was a 938 burn, so great job by Straight Sick and Bubudubu. So Straight Sick burning the overshield, Bubudubu recognizing that overshield was getting ready to spawn and making sure that Allegiance isn't gonna be able to put that to use.
Yeah, so now E6, they fought back in this game. It looked like a solid Allegiance start, but it's been pretty back and forth over here. Bubudubu not aware that he was out of saw ammo, and that may allow these guys to capture pit on Allegiance. You see they get 2 kills over here. Contra ends up leaving over the pit for his teammate and tried to get the reset, but Shooter is over there to get the contest, and that's very unfortunate timing for Contra, but there goes the kills. Falcade getting the pick on the Shooter. That's Kratos weak as well in the base. Devin again working with Contra. It's been the duo in Halo 5 for quite some time over here. Triple cap does get ended as you do have E6 capturing blue base or red base, but this is looking like a very nice turnaround for Allegiance. E6, they had this, but Contra's been staying alive for quite some time, eventually drops, but you got to give him credit where it's due. He had some fantastic map movement throughout that last couple minutes.
Predevonator is crouching around over here in Turbine. Knows there's players up towards the Sneaky. The other Splinter Nades have been taken here, or at least the one on red side. I'd like to see them jump up to blue, as you really need to be running these grenades with how quickly they respond. Amazing job by Falcated with a thrust forward and a melee to secure the kill there. However, Allegiance still with control. Nobody able to focus quite yet on the pit as another reset comes in. Straight Sick collapsing on Kratos below the base, but he's not going to be able to pick up that 1v1 win. Great job here by Kratos.
Let's see if they're able to capture the pit. Looks like they're going to be able to. They have the numbers advantage, but who came in there with the grenades? It was Devin. They didn't get the reset over there, though. So close, as you saw Straight Sick and Contra off the spawn from the blue platform, and Shooter in perfect position. This is going to challenge that. It does, and Falcade not able to get the cleanup, but Shooter a little bit over aggressive, looking for the triple kill. Maybe he was feeling it. Only a couple bullets left, though, so he switches on over to his pistol. Overshield is up, though, Kyle. Remember, that one was burned by Straight Sick previously, so the team's fighting outside.
Ooh, and Shooter not being able to secure the kill there. However, Boo on the flank with the Saw, make that 2 members dead, 3 members dead here for Allegiance. That's going to be a big win here. Outside the map is Overshield back in favor of Enigma6 with map control currently holding 2 Strongholds. Focusing on the 3rd one, they might actually be able to put that one in, and yes, we've got another triple cap happening.
You know what? I thought about this and how the series has been going, and I'm not even worried. It's definitely going to be 100-99, so we can call this up as much as we want and get it hyped up, but the real story is going to be the ending of this game, because the games have been too close. You got to assume that Allegiance, they're going to fight back. They're going to get back after this triple cap, and I'm predicting it's going to happen around that like 70 mark probably, Kyle.
So picking up another, 20 seconds or so off control here. Now, we just hit the halfway mark here for Enigma6. Boo still with that Saw, just having so much power weapon control here so far these first 2 games. Kratos another double kill, picking up perfect shots there. So I think Kratos is playing pretty well today. His shot looks like it is on. He has been winning a lot of these 1v1s. Take a quick peek at the stats here, and everyone across the board for E6 really starting to step it up.
Yeah, everyone's stepping it up for E6, and Contra, he had some really nice map movement, but he's currently lagging in kills. Everybody's sitting around double digits, and he's only got 4. So let's see if Kratos and this E6 squad can continue to hold this setup, because if they can, Overshield's going to be coming up here soon, and if they secure that, they should be able to take this game. But,
yeah.
Oh, I was off by 7 points, so not too bad.
Yeah, Legion's finally making a run here, grabbing that. Oh, the barrel's up. He really needs to shoot that. However, with that AR, does go ahead and win that first battle. Saw is up. Is that Boo grabbing that again? We'll find out here in a minute as Suspector passes it up. Barrel's still up. Contra or Cody here running around. Bottom center playing Ring Around the Rosie here. Both players just watching each other's radars, making sure to avoid any kind of battles here as Contra comes back around. 3rd time's the charm. Hits him with the plasma pistol.
Yeah, Ring Around the Rosie, pocket full of Cody's over here, and looks like he's going to drop. Contra, nice job staying alive, but Suspector wants that pit, and they're trying to secure this one so they can get the triple cap and try to take game number 2, because they realize they let that last one get away. It should have been 50-49 in their favor, but a nice stick by Falcated, nice death stick at the very end. Turn this series right back around, and Allegiance doesn't look like they're going to be able to do anything unless they have something miraculous in this next couple of pushes. It's only going to be 2 more pushes before this game's over.
Yeah, I mean, we are coming down to the end here. Suspector up on the sneaky ledges. No splinter nades for it. Or he'd already grabbed the splinter nade, but not going to get to use it as he gets taken out. There's another player outside. Looks like he was on some sort of a flank there. It helps out a little bit, but Allegiance, like we said, without control right now, trying to focus one player here on the pit. And that's not going to work out as Shooter is easily able to secure that kill and a reset.
Again, only 1 or 2 more pushes here. Let's see what the strategy is going to be for Allegiance. You obviously want to get the pit over here, but you have to focus the side bases first. So it's a nice job by Shooter getting that kill onto Contra, and makes you wonder what happens in a 3-on-4 situation over here. Do you try to press it, or do you realize they need to wait for Contra and try to reset over here? So that's going to be 2 individual deaths, and it seems like E6, they should be able to get this contest and reset.
Yeah, as long as Shooter drops down this hill and looks like the reset does come in, the players from Allegiance do get taken out as we're coming down to the wire here, focusing on the 3rd and final stronghold on the map as the Allegiance players are coming off spawn. Nobody's really going to be in great position to try and contest that. A lot comes down to this fight right here. Predevinator, wait, what? That death cam fight was kind of ridiculous to watch as Predevinator got kind of embarrassed in that situation. But wow, just a half a second or less away from getting that secure. But the game is going to go over in favor of Enigma6 as now they take a 2-1 series lead here. No surprise, Boo 6 captures, 3 secures, 22 kills, leading the pack here for both teams in pretty much every game we've watched so far.
22 Boo, man, that was a very nice game by him. Most kills, most captures in the game, and giving this team a 2-1 lead here. And he's just been on fire this entire series, as well as Falcated for the Allegiance squad. So Contra again had a little bit of errors. You know, that last push, in my opinion, when he was the first player to die, that just resets the whole push. You have to just wait for your numbers at that point, and you can't afford to give up the first death. You have to look for the first pick. So there's the kill right there. Nice splinter grenade. Yeah, Contra wasn't expecting that one, but I'm looking for him in this CTF Coliseum game to step it up big.
Yeah, I mean, we are looking at CTF Coliseum for the game number 4. Now, for Allegiance, they just need to win this series. For Enigma6, it's already a scary moment since they went ahead and dropped that game number 2 by just half a second. I would have loved to see who from E6 was in position to secure a kill after that, should that stick not have gone in their favor, and seen, how some of the different possibilities could have played out. But we are looking at a game number 4. Allegiance needs to come back in this series. They do not want to experience relegation here this year. And of course, our 5th, 6th teams of the summer season are the 2 teams in the most danger of being relegated, as opposed to our 7th and 8th seeded teams of last season, who both made it back into the Pro League. Are in pretty good position. Team Liquid obviously secured finals already with the 3rd seed, and then obviously Straight Ripon, who is trying to make it in, but you got that Luminosity standing in their way right now.
Yeah, it's interesting fact there. So I don't know. Do you not want to be 5th, 6th when this season ends? Because then all of a sudden you're automatically going to relegations in the final season and in the following season. But you got to give it to these guys on E6, because that was a heartbreaking loss there, 50-49, and they realized what was at stake. They wanted to win this series 3-0, and they just let it slip by. They could have been feeling good. This series could have been over for them. So to bounce back and win that one so handily just goes to show again how resilient these guys are. But it's been back and forth. I'm expecting Allegiance to come out hot. There's plenty of weapons over here. I believe though CTF Coliseum was their first ban, so that could be something to watch out for, because they were obviously trying to avoid that game type, but yet it comes up, and that's E6 is one of their strongest CTFs. So again, they can't afford to go up in the game and just cough up the lead, because every single game, Kyle, they've had a lead, yet they've lost.
Yeah, and some of those leads have been very large leads, all things considered. With this being Coliseum CTF, I have to agree with you. I think this is one of Enigma6's stronger game types. Somehow Allegiance was able to defeat them, though, last time they matched up. I think a lot of it comes down to how aggressive E6 is being. We've talked to them before. They are a team that likes the high-risk, high-reward plays. And one of the perfect examples was, I believe, it was Evil Geniuses that they were playing. But they ran and secured a final capture on Coliseum CTF without having sniper or rocket control, which was in favor of the enemy team.
I believe that was Luminosity when they were playing that.
Yeah,
and then the game
native
against EG was when Straight Sick got the overkill exterm. It was tied up 2-2. The flag was in the grass, and then he pulled that and capped that one. So we've seen a couple of good plays on CTF Coliseum from both teams, actually. So this should be a very entertaining game. And again, I'm looking at Contra, so I want to start this game off with him and see what he's got for us. I believe he goes for the snipe in the beginning of this game, and there's so many weapons in CTF Coliseum that if you can get the weapons in your hand, you can go on a little bit of a streak.
Yeah, the 6 Coliseum CTF game that we most recently watched was actually them picking up a loss. It was Kratos trying to kill the flag carrier as he's running up elbow to secure that last one from their match last week.
With the Rockets.
Correct.
How can you forget that play?
Yeah. So, of course, that being a heartbreaking loss of a game, especially helping put them in this bad position that they currently find themselves in. But like you said, you're wanting to start this one off here with Contra. I can agree with that, as they are red base here, starting this off immediately, pushing over to try and contest the snipe tower. Pretty similar starting strats, 1 going rockets, 3 going over towards snipe, and E6 way too quick for Allegiance to kind of try and get over to sniper and contest. But as Booba gets hit by a nade and contested there, some kills finally going both teams' direction. Kratos grabbing a rocket, not being able to get any hit markers
all 4
there.
dead for Allegiance. That's scary for Allegiance. Now you have rockets and sniper rifle in the hand of E6, and Kratos flying into the window there. Someone on Allegiance is going to have to escape, so I like the play that is happening bottom center. I'm not sure who that was that made the flank over down towards the enemy base, but that's exactly what you have to do. You try to escape down towards the scatter shot, maybe make your way around towards the grass for a flank, or get a counter pull and maybe pull it towards the elbow yourself. But Kratos not putting in enough work with the rockets, and Contra picking up a double kill. So this flag is just a temporary distraction to buy some time for his teammates. Straight Sick can't go for the return quite yet, and then goes for it, gets that kill onto Kratos, and if he didn't, that could have been a scary moment for Allegiance. And a nice job by E6, especially Kratos staying alive for as long as he possibly could.
Yeah, Spectre picking up 5 kills here to start this game, and one of those kills that Trixie got was in fact a kill here on the sniper player. Really shut down that flag cap, and we do have a tweet coming in here from D-Hulk. Let it be known that Boo is now 22 Boo, according to T-Squared.
Yeah, 22 in an Empire Strongholds is pretty good, and someone's going to have to drop a 20 bomb here, or maybe even a 30 bomb in order to win this game, because these teams are very evenly matched. And we saw what happens in the beginning of the game. Even when E6 has Sniper and Rockets, Allegiance did a nice job of fending them off and even got the numbers, but then E6 still almost got the cap. So this one, again, could go either way over here, as we do have 2 kills getting picked up by Allegiance. Boobadooboo hits that nice no-scope onto Contra. Suspector gets it perfect onto Falcade. Those are 2 huge kills.
Oh, and what a great splinter nade, but not going to be able to secure the kill there as Predevinator hits him with a nice nade. That's the last 2 members of Allegiance were pushing up here, trying to collapse on Enigma6. They're getting a lot of kills, but nobody's in position to run the flag quite yet.
Ooh.
Predevinator shutting down Boobadooboo with the shots there, and that opens up an opportunity for a good flag push, and now a lot more cover coming in here from Allegiance as they kept Predevinator alive.
Devin's going to drop the flag and give up his positioning. I don't know if E6 was aware that the flag was going towards Alba, but that's going to be enough to put that one in. Everyone on E6 electing to go over towards Snipe, and it seems like they wanted to get control instead of stop the cap, which seems to be the right decision over here, but they have to eliminate Devin because the player that did cap the flag could eventually stop the flag cap and counter cap here for E6. Devin not able to pull a Falcated and stick that player at the end, and seems to be a pretty easy cap over here unless you can see Cody on your screen. Contra can go get a pull over here. It's going to be a big 1v1 going up against Kratos. Kratos hits him with the grenade, backs him off, should be tied up 1-1.
Yeah, Boobadooboo walks that one in pretty easily here, as it is back up to 1v1, kind of looking like a repeat of the game number 1 we just witnessed here. But as far as kills, it is more spread out than Boobadooboo, just kind of racking up all of those. New Sniper is up. Amazing trade coming out of Boobadooboo there being so weak. There's going to be people dying left and right, but look at that. Contra had a flagpole. Moving that across, flag is at home to score.
Wow.
Just like that. What a counter.
Amazing job by Contra. We were saying how we needed to go big here in this game, and that was a very sneaky counter to the counter. So it's been nonstop flag action here in the last minute or 2, and it's not something we saw in the first couple minutes of the game. It was a lot of slang with no flag running. So these players getting objective-minded. That's the right thing that you want to do here. But you want to make sure that you're controlling the weapons too. So Falcated over here with the sniper rifle, trying to get some picks. As you can see, Rockets dropping in 15 seconds over here. Nice no-scope on the shooter's face while this flag is being ran. Last player alive is chasing the flag guy. This information needs to be relayed, and it looks like Falcated doesn't know where the flag guy is being shot from, but Boobadooboo does drop over to Straight Sick. And then there's the nice scatter shot coming in, and there's the cap. So nice job securing that one by Allegiance. I was getting a little bit worried there, and again, all of the kills, they happened in the first couple minutes of the game, and Kratos only 2 there, so looking for him in game number 5 to step it up. But what do you know? The last week here, Allegiance going to game 5. What's new?
Another game 5. Now they have picked up 2 wins so far, so they're putting themselves in good position here. And of course, you know, taking a lot away from this Enigma6 squad here. Shooter with that scatter shot hit no-scope by
That was
Falcated.
such a big no-scope there by Falcated.
He was just watching radar, waiting for that player to jump up, had it lined up perfectly. The only way Shooter is going to be able to do anything is if he immediately thrusted there. But Falcated really confident in his shot and his no-scope ability, because then shuts Shooter down.
Eden Slayer, game number 5. Go grab your popcorn, guys. Grab your snacks. E6, you know they're going to camp this one out. They did it in game number 2. So moving into game number 5 with even more on the line here. Plenty of time, guys, to, you know, if you're like me, the Tin Man Taylor, you need to stretch, get up out of your seat, do a little bit of dance. Feel free to do so. Get the blood flowing, because we are moving into game number 5.
Yeah, I mean, it is another tiebreaker alert here. Eden Slayer. Now, I know Allegiance is going to want to pick up this victory, and it'll make tomorrow's matches just that much more intense for them as they hope to escape relegation, send Enigma6 down into that place for them. And, you know, it would be nice to end with a couple more Game 5 wins than knowing you went through an entire season just losing all of the clutch moments.
Yeah, this is, again, they're trying to play spoiler. It's about pride here for Allegiance. So if they can end the season with a couple of Game 5 wins, that's going to feel really good for them. It's a matter of, did this change, you know, work out for us? Was this the right pickup for us? Because one of the things that we failed to touch base on is how Shooter, he's going up against his old team right now. He used to be on this Allegiance squad and then left to go back to his old team. So just stay with us, guys. It's his old team that Shooter's back on now, which is E6, his original team.
Right, and of course, Shooter, who had so much success at finals, finishing 2nd. And keep in mind, this was a player that we didn't even see compete at the Halo World Championship. So he's done a lot of improvements here from when we've last seen him. between summer season. I was a big fan of his, especially like I said, they're at finals as he had one of the better performances, even though Optic did kind of steamroll the championship bracket. But either way, Shooter, he's a force to be reckoned with. We saw him win the series against Evil Geniuses a few weeks ago on the final Coliseum Slayer game type. So hopefully Allegiance will be able to kind of step this up. They've seen Shooter be shut down before, especially in these game fives where he's only had like 2 and 3 kills. Still a possibility for Allegiance to come out and win this.
A lot of assists too, and one of the things to keep in mind is which side that you're playing on too, and I believe that blue side is E6, which should give them an advantage here to start the Slayer game. You are getting the sniper rifle unless anyone is going to be grenading it on the red side, and we've seen, you know, again, Team Slayer all about holding that blue side. We have seen rotations over to red. However, the rotations over to red are only in certain situations where the other team is getting aggressive over towards blue, either with a weapon like a shotgun, rockets, and then the sniper rifle guy realizes that he's in a little bit trouble, and that's why he goes to red. So I think that advantage over to E6 in terms of what color they're playing doesn't really mean much, maybe a couple of kills, but again, it's game 5, anything could happen. I'm expecting this one to be very slow paced though.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you there. We do have the players here set up in our game number 5, Slayer on Eden. First 50 kills to win. We've got the rockets, we've got the sniper rifle. Expect to see, as Tom said, a slowed down game, but, you know, I'm kind of hoping for one of those fast-paced ones. We might even see this one come down to the wire. There's a lot on the line here, or even more so, I think, here for Allegiance. But either way, must win at this situation, and we're starting this off with Kratos. Grabs those plasmas, immediately pushing over here to contest rockets.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try to grenade these ones to himself. Smart play, but his grenade doesn't hit where he wanted to, and then the rockets are going to get blown off. So a little bit of a slow play coming in for Kratos. Is it going to work? Suspector rotate the sniper rifle outside. So like I said, blue team has a slight advantage over here because they do get the snipe. Now Devin does skedaddle out over towards red SMG, but look at this, 3-1 lead and counting for E6 with the weapons in their hands. This is not looking good for Allegiance.
Oh, Kratos grabs a quick double kill there as he gets some help from Suspector and that sniper rifle coming in. 5-2 lead. Predevinator, however, with the rockets, looking to answer back a little bit here. So power weapon exchange kind of even. You got the sniper versus the rockets. You see this very often here. You see catwalk control versus outside, especially over towards red bend control. And you can see Enigma6 spread out pretty well. Allegiance doing what we saw from E6 earlier, especially on that rig game, rotating all together here, making sure they try to out-teamwork the opponent.
Yeah, so how impatient is Suspector going to grow over here because you have so many players outside? It looks like it's not going to last very long because they're getting aggressive and charging over here, but you can't all charge from the same side. They have to get over towards security side. This is just a bad play by Allegiance. They should be rotating with the rockets over towards security. There's one pick. Now, they need to realize Suspector, the angles that he's going to be watching. That red bridge going up towards Nest, you can't go there. Going bottom center, that's a no-go as well. So that's a nice challenge over there by Suspector, but he doesn't get the headshot onto Straightstic, who was a little bit overextended, and Allegiance getting 2 kills for none. Eventually, you have to realize if you're E6 that rockets are coming up and rotate over here, and can they use the old rockets on the side of Allegiance to get the new ones?
Yeah, I'm a little scared of what we just saw here as 2 players moved away from rockets right as they're coming up, and they lost the 2v1 fight. There's still 3-kill lead here over for E6 with those rockets being up. Kratos is the only person contesting, and this is kind of a 1v2. Suspector's moving as quickly as possible. Rockets are getting ready to spawn right now, and they get in position just in time to push Allegiance back. Kratos is going to get rewarded.
Kratos gets those rockets, did a nice job staying alive, fighting multiple players of Allegiance outside. But Allegiance, they need to get into security over here. That's the #1 problem, and I'm not sure if it's because of the fact that they don't have the shotgun or what's going on, but it's a little bit too late now because Kratos does have rockets, and he's going to be able to lock this side of the map down. So that whole strategy and talk that we just had pretty much nullified, as you don't want to charge into the rocket guy now over here, and the push is going to have to come out from outside from Allegiance. So just a little bit too late on the rotations over here, and it's unfortunate because this is going to get slowed down so much, and they're going to have the weapons on E6's side when the other round of weapons coming up. So you see sniper rifle in 10 seconds, still plenty of ammo in this one, and rockets for Kratos. here's the big moment in the game, and then next minute when these rockets come up as well, that's when all the action's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we may be looking at 2 sniper rifles here in favor of Enigma6 as they go to set up for the new rockets, like you said, in another minute here. So this could be a very trying moment for Allegiance, but as they push out, they grab the kill on Suspector. Put that sniper rifle down here on Plaid. Make that a double kill. 7-10 as Kratos answers back with a rocket kill, but Predeminator goes ahead and picks up or finishes off that one. You got Shooter answering back, so constant back and forth action. Ultimately, Shooter ends up with the sniper and shotgun in his hands. Oh, nice job, Shooter. Not one to play too selfish, decides just to drop this sniper rifle over to one of his teammates and says, or probably literally says, here, I'll just protect you over here by blue plat. You just sit up here and snipe.
Yeah, sure is, but look at this. It's how many minutes into the game? 4 minutes and only 19 kills. That's an amazing stat. Definitely not going to see 50 kills here. And the game's going to explode at some point, but then it's going to slow back down again. I'm wondering who's going to be able to rack up the kills when the game explodes, though. It's not going to be a trade. Some team is going to go on a run, and it's going to have something to do with the weapons.
Ooh, and now he's back with shotgun sniper in his hands as players are moving around. Kratos grabs one with the rocket kill. Make that boo-boo-doo-boo now with the rockets. 2 snipers, 2 rockets, 3 rocket kills just going in favor of Enigma6. And this is only 14-9. This is literally the most power weapons I've ever seen on one map at any given time.
And I wouldn't want to be in Allegiance's shoes here
all
because
on one team.
it's just so difficult. They missed their opportunity. You got to know that E6 is going to slow this one all the way down to a standstill. So that very first rocket that you had, that's the rocket that you needed to go over towards the security side and then make your push over towards outside to get Suspector, who had that sniper rifle eventually. So now E6 just sitting on this mountain of ammo, and they're just going to use that again to make this game explode. And it's eventually going to happen in the next couple of minutes here because Allegiance, they're not going to slow play this anymore, I can't assume. I mean, next round of weapons coming up in a minute and then in another minute after that, so it's going to be a scary moment here. E6, they can just completely run away with this one. Allegiance, someone's going to have to step up and get a pick or outplay someone with a thrust because it doesn't look like they have anything in their favor.
Yeah, nothing is going over towards them. Kratos still with rockets. Boo-boo-doo-boo with a rocket in his pocket as he puts a bunch of shots down on this player hiding in Nest. Make that Predevinator. No one able to finish off the kill, though, so he does a good job waiting for Shields to come back, but pops out way too early. Gets double teamed for a moment. Not even any much ammo left in Boo-boo-doo-boo's weapon, but just add that as another kill over towards this E6 squad. And game number 5, just over 6 minutes left. Tom, the score is 16-9 still. Like, what are we watching?
I don't know. It's one of those games where, is this one going to 25? First to 25? Like we're playing, you know, Arena Free-For-All or something like that? I don't know.
2v2?
Yeah, 2v2? What's going on here? This is a 4v4 in game number 5. And see how bad these teams want it. They don't want to give up any deaths. Everything is being talked about. Everything is being communicated and strategized to one another, and it's great to see. I want to see this one explode though sometime soon over here. Maybe this happens as you do have the spawns get a little bit messed up over here and players on the side of Allegiance starting to get pretty aggressive.
Yeah, look at that. New rockets coming up. Valkated's got one in his pocket. He gets melted by Shooter, though. Not going to be able to do much there, and this kill's still going over in favor of E6. I really thought we were going to see that moment. They had a numbers and weapons advantage momentarily, but instantly shut down. Not able to get any kind of real runs going or comebacks here. We've seen them have leads early on in the game, but constantly allowing E6 to get back into it. The real question is E6 going to allow Allegiance to do the same?
I don't know, Gal, but this is a good opportunity again, guys. Feel free to grab a snack because we still got 5 minutes left here and it's going down to the very end. It's like when you watch basketball and sometimes you just tune into the 4th quarter or something like that because that's where all of the action's going to happen that matters.
Starts trying.
So, yeah, that's when everyone starts trying over here. But no, you can see they are trying that much, and that's why this one is slowed down and may not be the most entertaining game in the world, but towards the end, that's when we're going to see the real testament of these players' skill over here. And if you're Allegiance, you have to just try to, in my opinion, speed this one up because the time's running slow. E6, they've played this one pretty much to perfection. I would get aggressive with these weapons. I would start just charging and try to make your push over towards blue.
So they've got a little bit of time before they fully commit to that, but I do think they should start making some moves here. You do not want to be trapped in red base for the full ending of the game, especially if new rockets come up in 30 seconds. These things like that happen. Kratos just securing a kill there. Great bait and switches here coming out of Enigma6 to try to run away, but Contra answers back with a kill on Booba now down by 5 as Sniper and rockets are in their hands. I would love to know the amount of power weapon kills in this game, because I think more than half of the kills total have come from power weapons.
Probably like 70% of the kills
just
are going to come
sniper,
from power
shotguns,
weapons at the end of the game. Yeah, it's interesting, and that's what this map's all about. It's all about blue control. It's all about map control, you know, and trying to secure the weapons over here. So I don't know. I feel like this is E6's style of game, and you know, Allegiance is kind of playing into it, but Allegiance, they seem to be very comfortable at this as well, and they did a pretty good job of getting weapons in situations where they shouldn't have. So makes me wonder, you know, is this 10 kill lead, is it going to last? Because they've been sitting on an 8 to 9 kill lead for quite some time, and now it looks like the charge comes in, and E6, they elected to trade kills for getting control, or not, they elected to trade kills and give up control, which is now the first time that we're seeing blue base actually controlled by Allegiance. So small mistake in my opinion coming from E6.
Yeah, I mean, we had Allegiance just bring this game within 5 and then Enigma6 be able to pull away again. With just over 3 minutes left to play. Of course, you know, we talked about overtime and things like that. New snipers getting ready to come up. So I do want to see Allegiance start playing more quickly. Obviously, this slow-paced game has not been working out in their favor. They're just not as coordinated as you see from this Enigma6 squad. Kratos also ripping off some bases here. We'll go on board. He's still got a sniper. Plenty of ammo here to build this lead. Not going to be able to hit that, though.
That's a big whiff. Straightsick now gets the sniper rifle, and that's not who you want to go in a 1v1 battle with the sniper. And it's a 6-kill game now, and it's kind of scary. 8-kill game, excuse me, as you do have multiple players, as you can see, in security, multiple players over towards blue base. Makes me scratch my head on that charge that E6 had. They got a little bit impatient, and they coughed up control for a couple of kills, so that's going to be Devin with a nasty rocket onto Contra. Is this going to be where the game explodes? As we said, it's going to happen at some point. Multiple kills going on over to Allegiance. Now they have 2 sniper rifles, Kyle.
Yeah, and it looks like they have some callouts on a player hiding here, red 1. I'd love to see Predeminator. It looks like he may be just waiting for a teammate. Calling Contra back over here. Hey, help me check red 1. I think there's a guy hiding down here. And he rips his face off. 4-kill game, Tom. The second time we've seen they come this close, and now this is the smallest lead we've seen.
I cannot believe the comeback happening right now. Plus the rockets are sitting there. Shotgun, sniper rifle, rockets, all in the hands of Allegiance. Like we said, this game was going to blow up at any point. It happened right around that 3-minute mark over here, and it went over to Allegiance's hands. Couple missed rockets, very important rockets for Contra, but he somehow stays alive because of the nasty nade from Falcated, and now it's only a 1-kill lead.
And Falcated grabs another kill. We're all tied up. 3 members here. Trap that blue. Straightsick starting to hit some headshots there. 1 rocket here left for Contra. These players are going to be coming off spawn shortly. He needs to pay attention to his radar here.
Contra just shooting rockets left and right.
Some of the worst rockets I've ever seen.
Yeah, but somehow all of his teammates are picking up kills and clutching it all around him, so you got to be feeling good if you're Contra. And one of the good things is that he did waste all the ammo, so at least E6 doesn't have any ammo in that rocket that Contra did drop.
And we're looking at less than a minute left. The first lead change we've seen this game going over to Allegiance. The Enigma6 has to be getting a little worried as they know there is still a sniper over in their hands. As Straightsick now with only 1 bullet left, but 2 more kills going over to make this a 3-kill game.
Weird challenge there, trying to get the no-scope. Ooh, big 1v1. Suspector not able to finish off Contra. Falcated picks up another kill, this time onto Kratos. That's a big 1v1 over here. It ends up coming into a 2v1, so at least a nice job by E6. But look at this, 30 seconds now and 3-kill lead for Allegiance. Not going to see 50 here, but we may see one of the craziest comebacks and turnarounds that we've seen so far in the HCS. 2 bad grenades from Suspector. Multiple players. These are free kills if he still had those grenades. Instead, just elects to go for the trade and possibly the ninja to tie this one up. Straightsick gets the kill. He's looking for more. Picks up 2 in a 2-on-1 situation. 43 to 42. 6 seconds left. Did Straightsick clutch it out? for Allegiance? I think that he did. 2-1 ticking away. This game is over. Series on over to Allegiance.
Oh, and could you imagine if that game number 3 was, or there's actually the Strongholds one, if that was a 100-99 game, this would have been the closest series we've ever seen in the HCS, as another 1-kill victory coming down to the wire. This is game number 5, and it's Allegiance that finally comes out ahead. And that's going to end Enigma6's hopes of making it to finals permanently here. And now you're looking at, if anything, these guys are starting to put themselves in risk of being relegated.
Definitely, it's going to come down to probably, I'm not sure of the math, but most likely Evil Geniuses or E6 going to be battling out for that. Again, big matches to be played tomorrow, but Allegiance, they played spoiler, they played this one for their pride and for their dignity. Straight Sick, the new addition, going huge. No reason that he should have picked up 2 kills over there. He challenged, he got it. It wasn't even a trade, and that ended up being the big difference maker over there. Doesn't matter how many rockets Contra missed. Everybody picking up kills with weapons all around him, and just an amazing comeback from Allegiance. That has to feel good after so many Game 5 losses.
Yeah, and somebody please tweet at me with the number of power weapon kills that we saw this game, because I literally think it's going to be a record how slow the game played out in the beginning, and 2 sets of power weapon spawns. We're looking at 2 sets of rockets, 2 sets of sniper rifle, and unfortunately for them, just 1 set of shotgun, obviously being on that non-static respawn here. But crazy game, and I cannot believe Allegiance finally edged out a Game 5.
Yeah, again, that has to feel amazing for these guys, and it has to be, you know, to get that win just goes to show how much Allegiance, you know, deserves to be, you know, in this pro league, in my opinion. Yeah, you're going to have all of these teams that are going to be coming out from the Legendary Cup. Maybe they deserve to be in there too, who knows? But that just goes to show, again, how resilient Allegiance is, that the record doesn't reflect how good they actually are. And I feel like that pickup with Straight Sick, eventually, again, they had the most growing pains out of everyone because of the difference in play styles between him and Shooter. But seems to me that they've started to finally put it on and play well here, and that's a good time for them.
Yeah, and we have our winner view here. We have Allegiance Chad joining us. He is going to be the manager of the squad. Chad, saw you over in St. Louis. Obviously, it was a lot of fun being there. Now, how does it feel finally being able to edge out your squad here with a game number 5?
It feels really good. Heart's still kind of pumping. You know, we had 2 game slayers that went to last kill. So it's really tough because we fell down in that Game 5. But, you know, we kept making sure that we positioned ourselves correctly in order to make that comeback right at the end. And we were glad to get that going.
So what were the communications like towards the end of that game, especially afterwards? I want to know if you were involved in those comms there, what the teams were saying to each other. Like, was this one of those finally week 7, but we finally did it?
Definitely. I mean, we had the Game 5 against EG that we won, but for the most part, yeah, it's been a tough season for Game 5s. We were able to clutch up this time. And the communication, it was really slow to start the game. As you know, the game was unbelievably slow to start. And as things started picking up at the end because we started making that comeback, we got the power weapons that we were looking for. And, you know, it got faster pace. And then I think Enigma6 likes to play a little bit of a slower style. So once we finally got the power weapons and started spawn trapping them, that's when we got able to push it faster and get the communications going faster and really helping ourselves out.
So we didn't talk about it until the very end there, how Shooter formerly was on this Allegiance squad. What did it feel like, first of all, going up against him on this E6 team? And then how are you guys feeling after a couple of weeks of playing with Straight Sick that you guys feel like that was the right pickup?
Yeah, last time we faced E6, Shooter was actually on our squad, so definitely an adjustment to now be going against him. We picked up Straight Sick because we felt like he was the best possible pickup we could get at that time. He filled a lot of roles. We needed someone that had, you know, Shooter has really good communication. And so we needed someone that had good communication as well. And we feel like Straight Sick has that. So we brought him on to the squad, and he's really filled in the role that Shooter kind of left. And we feel like he's filled in really nice. And we got the win we wanted to today. So.
All right. Well, definitely congratulations on that Game 5 victory. Very entertaining to watch. Now, what is next for Allegiance here going into tomorrow? Have you guys started, you know, forget this win already, and we got to focus on what's really important here?
Yeah, definitely. It's we've did our job today. We got the win. Now it's about focusing on tomorrow. We're looking to try and beat Envy, and then hopefully we can get ourselves out of relegation the last day of the season. That would be hype, huh?
That would be something else, and I would definitely wishing you the best of luck there for that. And I know you guys could do it. It's just if you're going to show up tomorrow, and it looks like you showed up today.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Chad. Always a pleasure speaking with him. Of course, that is Allegiance's manager here, so he does a lot for that squad.
Yeah, I didn't know that they didn't secure their way towards relegations already. So I guess he said if they beat Envy that they have a chance. I'm going to have to check out the clarification on that.
Yeah,
but
they weren't locked into relegation
It's
yet.
pretty crazy to see, again, how every game really matters, every spawn, every match, because Allegiance, even with 4 or 5 Game 5 losses, they still have a chance to possibly be in 5th or 6th place.
And just think about how close
6th place.
or how much every kill matters when you lose 2 games by 2 kills or by 2 kills combined.
Yeah, I mean, something as small or as big as that stick at the end for Falcated, just, coughing that one out as he died. And then you have Straight Sick in that 2v1 situation over there, just getting kills that he shouldn't have. So that's just got to feel good for Allegiance.
Keep in mind, E6 won game 1 and 3, losing game 2, 50-49. We could have been looking at a 3-0 series that Allegiance was just able to take away with the W there. So, of course, if you like what you saw, and we want to hear from you at home. So make sure you tweet at us using the hashtag HCS or tweet at ESL Halo or at HCS. Now, that does do it for our match number 1 of the night. Our next match is going to be the match of the week. Team Envious going up against Optic Gaming. So don't go anywhere, and we'll have that coming up right after this.